Story time. Once upon a time, in a quaint little town called Evergreen, there lived a curious and imaginative girl named Alice. With her big blue eyes and a heart full of wonder, Alice was always on the lookout for adventures. She spent her days exploring the woods, reading books about far-off lands, and dreaming of magical places. One sunny afternoon, while chasing a white rabbit that seemed to be in a great hurry, Alice stumbled upon an old oak tree with a mysterious door at its base. The door was unlike any she had ever seen, adorned with intricate carvings of fantastical creatures and symbols. Intrigued, Alice hesitated for a moment before reaching out to the doorknob. To her astonishment, the door creaked open, revealing a shimmering portal beyond. Without a second thought, Alice stepped through, and in an instant, she found herself in a place she could never have imagined. Wonderland. Wonderland was a land of enchantment and oddities, where flowers spoke in poetic verses, rabbits wore waistcoats, and tea parties were hosted by a charismatic and eccentric Mad Hatter. Alice was captivated by this extraordinary world and embraced each adventure with open arms. As she wandered through Wonderland, Alice encountered a plethora of whimsical characters. There was the grinning Cheshire Cat, who offered riddles and cryptic advice, the mischievous March Hare, who never seemed to stop celebrating an unending tea party, and the timid Dormouse, who dozed off between sips of tea. But it was the enigmatic Queen of Hearts who intrigued Alice the most. With her commanding presence and love all things red, the Queen ruled over Wonderland with an iron fist. Playing croquet with flamingos and hedgehogs, she would shout off with their heads at the slightest provocation. Despite the Queen's intimidating demeanor, Alice was determined to navigate Wonderland with grace and courage. With each encounter, she learned valuable lessons about the importance of kindness, curiosity, and staying true to oneself. As Alice continued her journey through Wonderland, she encountered several perplexing challenges. She had to navigate through a forest of talking trees, overcome the nonsensical logic of the Tweedle twins, and outwit the devious tricks of the Queen's card soldiers. Throughout her adventures, Alice's resilience and creativity shone through. She befriended the peculiar characters she met and showed them the beauty of seeing the world from a different perspective. With her boundless imagination, she brought a touch of magic to everything she touched. One day, as Alice and her newfound friends were enjoying a lively tea party, the Queen of Hearts announced a grand croquet match. The stakes were high, and the Queen seemed determined to win at all costs. As the match commenced, Alice noticed something peculiar. The Queen's flamingos and hedgehogs seemed to be frightened and uneasy. Unable to bear their distress, Alice spoke up and suggested a change in the rules. Instead of using the animals as croquet mallets, they could play the game with more kindness and fun. To Alice's surprise, the Queen agreed to her suggestion, and the game took a lighter and more joyous turn. The flamingos and hedgehogs were relieved, and everyone in Wonderland had a delightful time. Impressed by Alice's wisdom and compassion, the Queen of Hearts softened her demeanor and realized the importance of fairness and kindness. From that day on, she became a more benevolent ruler, spreading goodwill and cheer throughout Wonderland. As the days passed, Alice's time in Wonderland drew to a close. The bittersweet farewell she stepped back through the mysterious door and found herself back under the old oak tree in Evergreen. Though she was back in her familiar world, Alice's heart was forever changed by her adventures in Wonderland. She realized that the magic she had discovered there was not confined to a far-off land, but existed within her all along. Alice cherished the memories of her time in Wonderland and the lessons she had learned about embracing her curiosity and celebrating her unique qualities. She knew that life was an adventure, and there were wonders to be found in every moment. And so, with a twinkle in her eye and a heart full of wonder, Alice continued to explore the world around her, knowing that the most extraordinary journeys often begin with a curious mind and an open heart. The end.